The collapse has been spectacular. It is a collapse unlike anything I think I've seen before. It is the most unexpected collapse of champions that I think we have ever seen. The slump that we discussed previously is now undoubtedly a crisis. Liverpool's title hopes are now non-existent. Liverpool will not win the league. Liverpool will not retain a title. Liverpool will not do what they needed to do, which was to retain a title for the first time since the mid to early 80s. It really is a catastrophe for Liverpool Football Club. Openly, it's one I did not see coming. Regardless of where you positioned Liverpool this year, nobody could have expected this. I know people love to have a pop at me. I know people love to say, oh, you said this, you said that, and yet I got it wrong. But surely nobody would have said that Liverpool would be in the bottom half of the Premier League table in late November. Like, it's just impossible to believe that they are here, and it's getting worse. The defeats are stacking up. They are undoubtedly in a slump. Oh, look, there we go. The first super chat of the day has landed. Blip, slump, crisis. Yeah, do you remember that? Do you remember when we were having that debate? And I was saying that it's not a crisis. The journey to crisis is a long and convoluted one. And the way that you get to a crisis is you go blip, then you go slump, then you go crisis. And you are correct. It is now a disaster. Slot out. I can't believe what I'm reading. I cannot believe what I'm reading. Look, I understand why you'd say that. I understand where it comes from. I understand that there is logic to the theory. And I'm a Chelsea fan, right? So I view things differently. When you support Chelsea, particularly if you're my generation, you support Chelsea, you will always say, sack the manager, because it was an incredibly successful tactic that we employed. The way that we would pursue our greatness, the way that we would improve year on year is by basically giving a manager the opportunity to be an impact manager, to come in, to win silverware, and then get the sack. And there is no doubt that if Roman Abramovich was manager of Liverpool, Arne Slot would have been given the tin tack. Arne Slot would have been long gone if Roman Abramovich was in charge of Liverpool. There is no doubt that that is true. Whether you believe that to be the correct approach is a different one. But there is no manager that wouldn't have been sacked. Pep Guardiola last season would have been sacked by Abramovich. Abramovich was ruthless. He sacked Jose Mourinho off the back of retaining a league title. He sacked Carlo Ancelotti in the tunnel at Goodison Park simply because Chelsea weren't going to win the league. Like, he was ruthless. And there is no doubt that there is mileage in it. However, when you think about what Arne Slot has done at Liverpool, when you think about what Arne Slot has done coming into a team that shouldn't have won the league. He won the league at a canter. Not only did he dethrone Pep Guardiola, not only did he stop Pep Guardiola's team winning 4 in a row, he took that 3 in a row team and he cast them to the ash heap of history. He then got his nose in front of Mikel Arteta. He wasn't the manager that was supposed to win the league. It was Arteta. If it wasn't Guardiola, it was supposed to be Arteta. And Slot made it him. Do we not owe a manager that does something as brilliant as that an element of grace? Do we not extend an element of courtesy to a manager that wins a league title in his first season in the Premier League? Do we not extend him an element of grace? Let me dive into the super chat now and see what has been said. It's Aaron. Aaron says, unfortunately, the players have stopped playing for him now. Aaron, I don't think that's true, do you? I don't believe that it's genuinely true that the players have stopped playing for him. And do you know what? I'm always very hostile to managers. I always believe that managers are culpable. I always believe that managers are responsible. I believe that we praise managers when things go well, and I believe that we sack managers when things go wrong. Ultimately, the buck stops with the manager. However, in this exact example, it's slightly different, isn't it? Because Arne Slot came in and he has taken on a team. It's not exactly his team. There are icons at this team. There are icons at Liverpool. And yeah, Arne Slot should be doing better. But where is Virgil van Dijk? When the chips are down, that is when you shine. And if we're genuinely going to compare Virgil van Dijk to greats of the game, like Paul McGrath, like Rio Ferdinand, like John Terry, like Jaap Stam, like Sol Campbell, like Tony Adams, if we really want to put Virgil van Dijk in that Hall of Fame, if we want to have that kind of conversation about Virgil van Dijk, then these are the moments where Van Dijk needs to shine. If we want to put Mohamed Salah as a true great of the Premier League, then these are the moments where he needs to shine. And when we discuss should Arne Slot be sacked, I mean, it's amazing. 64% of the people in this chat believe that Arne Slot should be sacked. 64%. Over 1 in 3 of you think that Arne Slot should be sacked. Now, I understand it. I understand where it's coming from. I understand why you would suggest it. I'm just not sure that that is the right answer. I'm just not sure that it benefits Liverpool to the extent that people seem to think it will. Arne Slot is a proven excellent manager, isn't he? And you've got to think, everybody's talking about how good Arsenal are now. Everybody's talking about how brilliant Arsenal are and how Arsenal are going to win the league and Arsenal and Arteta and whatever else. And Arteta has done a great job. But surely you can remember Mikel Arteta's Arsenal losing at home to Burnley and everybody thought he was going to be sacked. It was a night game. I remember it really well. They lost 1-0 at home to Burnley. I believe it was Ashley Giles. But then I worry because of HMRC in football. I might be wrong, but I think it was Ashley Giles. Ashley Giles scored. Arsenal lost at home 1-0. And we all went to bed that night expecting to wake up to the news that Mikel Arteta had been sacked by Arsenal Football Club. Mikel Arteta was not sacked. Mikel Arteta was held on to when Tottenham beat Arsenal to a Champions League place. Mikel Arteta was not sacked when Arsenal were battered time and time again. There were many, many moments when Mikel Arteta could and possibly should have been sacked by Arsenal. But to Arsenal's credit, to the Kroenkes' credit, they did not sack him. And now, it looks like at least, they are going to reap the rewards. Surely what you do is you use that as a blueprint and an example to persevere with a manager. Your boy in the Super Chat says, love your content, Rory. Huge opportunity for the mighty Gunners. Yeah, you are correct. It is a massive weekend for Arsenal. On some level, it's one of the most important weeks of Mikel Arteta's career. You simply have to pounce. You simply have to pounce. Like, they've got a big week. They've got a big week and they're playing Tottenham, they're playing Bayern Munich and they're playing Chelsea. The fact that both of their main rivals for the title have lost means that they simply have to pounce. And I believe they will. You know, I believe that Arsenal will beat Tottenham, but I think that they have to beat them. That's a very, very astute message there from your boy. Thank you very much. Kai Van in the Super Chat says, Rory, in this autopsy, suggest how Liverpool can fix this. Can I suggest a slightly left field way of fixing it for Liverpool? Go back to basics, like literally back to basics as well. Andy Robertson starting every game. Andy Robertson is the main man. Get Dominic Szoboszlai central midfield. Stop playing midfielders as defenders. Just go back to absolute basics. The 3 obvious midfielders. You get the 3 obvious midfielders in there. If you have to play Szoboszlai at right back, don't do it. Play Curtis Jones there. Do not play one of your midfielders out of Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai. Do not play any of them out of position. Do not play Andy Robertson out of position or don't have him on the pitch at all. Go back to basics. And maybe then you go Ekitike. Ekitike scored. Did you see the goal that Ekitike scored for France? Did you see Didier Deschamps' reaction to the goal that Hugo Ekitike scored for France? You simply have to play Hugo Ekitike. And if you have to play Alexander Isak as well, how about this for a suggestion? You play 2 up front. You play Ekitike and Isak up front. You play Wirtz behind. You play the 3 midfielders, the 3 obvious midfielders, and you do what you have to do. Maybe you drop Mohamed Salah. It's not dropping as much as a rotation, but if Alexander Isak has to be in the team, I don't see how you can fit the 3. I don't think it's working the way that it is. So that is a possible suggestion. But my honest take on it is just simply go back to basics. Like, there is no point. There is absolutely no point in trying to get Kerkez further up the pitch. There is no point in trying to get Alexander Isak starting through the middle when he clearly doesn't look like he's ready to play there. There is no point in having Florian Wirtz playing as a winger because, quite frankly, it doesn't work. But I do think that it is fascinating that people are saying that it is time to get Alexander Isak out. It is time to get Arne Slot out of the team, out of the dugout. Like, I am so surprised at how badly it's gone. But it's important to remember that Arne Slot has never been beaten by this margin at Anfield in the Premier League. Like, it's a terrible day. It's a terrible result. But surely the brilliance of what he managed to do last season should stand him in good stead. Surely that should do him a favour and perhaps keep him in a job for a bit. Like, ultimately, who could they possibly bring in that would be better? Like I don't see how this gets better, but ultimately now, Liverpool have a decent amount of games, don't they? They have some decent games coming up. They have some very winnable fixtures. There's always the opportunity for those magical nights under the lights at Anfield in Europe. So there is a chance that this season is still somehow salvageable. But it does seem to be the general consensus. It does seem to be that people want Arne Slot out. I've seen all sorts mentioned. I've seen people today talking about Jurgen Klopp potentially going back. Now, I think that would be a terrible idea. I don't think you should ever go back. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it works. I think it can leave a bitter aftertaste. It's never as good as the first time round. And basically, it will not work as well as it did first time. It never does. Trust me. Trust me. You ever gone back with an ex-girlfriend? How did it go? Never, ever goes as well as it did first time round. So I don't think that going for the Jurgen Klopp angle is correct. I don't think that that's something that's going to work. I don't think it's a sensible option. But something needs to change. And Arne Slot needs to get it right. Like the way that he's speaking in press conferences, he's getting it so wrong. A new super chat has landed. It is from Utkarsh, who says, going on holiday if Arsenal win the title? What if they win the European Cup? I mean, they won't win the European Cup. If they win the league, yeah, it's going to be terrible, mate. It's going to be terrible. I'm going to have to start somehow rationalising what I'm going to do if they win the league. It's so poor because nobody is standing up to them. There's just no title challenge, is there? Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Arsenal win tomorrow. There is no doubt in my mind that Arsenal make light work out of Tottenham tomorrow. There's no doubt in my mind that Arsenal win the game 2-0. Saka and Eze score. Arsenal go, 7 points clear of Man City. Liverpool completely out of the title race altogether. Liverpool are now actually scraping and hoping to make it into the top 4. They are in big trouble. They are in big trouble for even qualification for the European Cup. So I just think it's a real opportunity for Arsenal. But if Arsenal do not make it, if Arsenal do not get it right, then I'm inclined to say that it's not a bad weekend for everybody. I'm just looking in the chat here and I'm seeing that a lot of people are saying that it worked when Mourinho went back to Chelsea. I mean, it did. It did. He won the league, but ultimately it didn't. I mean, he won the league and then got sacked. It was never as good as the first time round. He was falling out with the fans. He had a pop at the fans. He said that the fans, it's like playing in an empty stadium. It wasn't as good as it was the first time round. And then there are countless examples of managers going back and it going wrong. Like, how many times did Gareth Ainsworth go to Wickham? Like, how many times can that happen? Like, ultimately, I think managers that go back to a club and end up having a stint their second time round, I can't really think of an example of it going better than it ever went the first time round. Sachin Sharma is in the super chat and says, I told you, they're over-delivered last season and it will catch up with them this season. You didn't believe me. Again, Slot goes before Amorim. Cheers. You are right. I didn't believe you. I didn't see it going this way. I didn't think you were correct. But Sachin Sharma, you must be honest. You can't have even anticipated this. They're 11th in the league. They're in the bottom half of the league off the back of winning their first 5 games this season. This is unprecedented stuff. This is unpredictable stuff. And I totally agree, Sachin. There is something very impressive about you predicting the demise of Liverpool this season. But you must be honest. In your pre-season predictions, nobody would have dreamed that Liverpool would be as low as they are. Nobody. Nobody would have dreamed that it could go this badly. They were the best team in the country last year. They won the league by 10 points last year. They then had an outstanding Galactico-like transfer window, and it's very easy to paint that transfer window now and say that it wasn't a good one. It's very easy now to go, they signed too many players, they didn't need as many players as they signed, they didn't prioritise the right players, they didn't sign the players that they needed in the right spots. But nobody was saying that at the time. When they were trying to sign Alexander Isak, everybody went, Isak will be a great signing for Liverpool. When they were trying to sign Florian Wirtz, everybody went, Florian Wirtz will be a great signing for Liverpool. When they were trying to sign Frimpong, everybody said he'll be great. When they signed Kirkes, everybody said he'll be great. So it was very, very difficult to somehow predict. It would be very difficult to somehow predict that it would go this wrong for Liverpool. But I do admit, I just thought Liverpool would win the league at a canter. I thought that my logic was they were the best team in the country last year and they've had the best transfer window. 2-2 quite often makes a Christmas cake. If you're the best team in the country last year and you have the best transfer window, chances are you win the league again. But it has not gone that way. Slot needs to win 3 out of 5 to survive. Stevie Caretaker. Oh my God. Oh, my God. Do you know what? When Steven Gerrard didn't take the Glasgow Rangers job, that baffled me. It baffled me. Rangers loved him. Rangers fans were singing about him. Rangers fans adore him. He had a great rapport with the club. He was very successful up there. And he would just come back and it looked like he was looking for work. And it felt like Steven Gerrard was going to go to Ibrox. But he didn't. Oh, my God. I mean, it can't happen, can it? I mean, it can't happen. Can it? Steven Gerrard. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it, where you kind of go, one day Steven Gerrard will probably manage Liverpool. He will certainly be involved in the managerial conversation. He will certainly be involved in the backroom team. I think for years Liverpool had a tradition of having somebody like that involved. You know how Roy Evans was always around. He was always caretaker. He stayed on, didn't he, with Houllier to keep the continuity of the previous era going. So there is definitely a chance, I guess. But I think if it does go wrong, what I think Liverpool should probably do is just go for, those proven managers, or someone. I'll give you two examples, right? There are two managers that I think would be perfect for Liverpool. The Glasner-Iraola argument, because they're just elite level managers, fantastic managers, proven managers who are ready for a big job. They are ready for top jobs. They are clearly the next cabs off the rank when it comes to the next manager, the next managerial job. Glasner easily gets a Bayern Munich job. Iraola easily gets a Real Madrid job. That is the level of manager, that is the level of club that those two managers will go to next. But there is another, more left field manager that I can think of that would be so perfect for Liverpool. And I think this suggestion is going to get Liverpool fans purring. Are you ready for this suggestion? Zinedine Zidane. Think of stature, think of personality, think of presence, think of aura. And now imagine Zinedine Zidane walking down the touchline at Anfield. Don't you think that would just be like so magnificent? We never got to see Zinedine Zidane play in this country. He's a class manager. He's a class man. He's an icon of all icons. Maybe Zinedine Zidane. I don't know. He's a great manager. 3 European Cups in a row. But, yeah, mate, it's possible, isn't it? It really is possible that could happen. But Steven Gerrard, it's an interesting angle. But to be totally frank, I don't think that we're anywhere near sacking Slot. I really don't. The geezer won the league last year. Like, it all goes a bit crazy. It all goes a little bit crazy, doesn't it? Like, he won the league last year. So surely it's going to be fine. I'm going to go back into the Super Chat now. There is a Super Chat here that I missed from CKE91 that says, what great champion mentality shown by Liverpool and City today. Yeah, you are right. Especially Man City, I think. Liverpool less so. But Man City, they came off the back of demolishing Liverpool. It felt like the statement win that they were so in need of. It felt like the statement win that they've been waiting for. It felt like the victory that they've been chasing. And ultimately they've, like, you batter Liverpool the way that they did. They make the statement the way that they did. Haaland scoring like goal after goal after goal. Haaland potentially scoring his 100th Premier League goal today, wasn't it? And they were just so far off it. Like, it was almost the perfect opportunity for them to shine. And they just got it so wrong. Like, I'm surprised. I am surprised with Liverpool. I am surprised with City. I thought that Pep Guardiola would get it right. And I appreciate that going to St James's Park is trying, but it's not an impossible task. Newcastle have been all over the place this year. Newcastle have not been good. And yet, going to play at St James's is always tough. But City should be winning that game. They should especially be winning that game off the back of everything that we saw against Liverpool. For Liverpool, look, it's a home game against Forest. It's a home game against Sean Dyche. It's obviously a fixture that they need to win. And it wasn't only the fact that they got beaten, but they were so average. They were almost entirely reliant on Mohamed Salah's ability to sort of jink his way through. They were so reliant on one player. They were all over the place. You had midfielders playing as defenders. You had defenders not wanting to defend. You had Konate all over the place. You had Virgil van Dijk, no leadership. Like, what is going on? And then you've got a manager who is speaking in such poor way. He doesn't have the stature of a Liverpool manager at the moment, the way that he's speaking. Like, listen to this quote. He says, if things go well or things go bad, it's always my responsibility. I tried to adjust a few things that didn't really work out. We have quality players. It's my job to get the best out of them. I am not doing that at the moment. It is my responsibility. Now, a lot of that I agree with. A lot of it makes sense. I think that it is the manager's responsibility. Arne Slot does need to be responsible here, and I appreciate what he's doing. Insulating his manager, insulating his players from the criticism, insulating his players, protecting his players from the overt criticism, suggesting to the world that the players are not at fault, that he is. I respect that. It's protection. It's protecting his players. But I also think that these players need to take responsibility. Like Virgil van Dijk is being spoken about as being one of the very best in the world ever. He's going to have to elevate his performances. This is quite frankly not good enough. And this time last year, Manchester City had that autumn slump, didn't they? Manchester City did what? They lost 9 out of 11 games. Now, Liverpool are totally out of the title race. They are leaving their crown completely undefended. Like, they aren't making any effort to really defend their title. They are 11th in the league. And if Everton beat Manchester United on Monday, they will ease ahead of their City rivals. In terms of the battle of the Liverpudlians, Everton, if they beat Manchester United, will be ahead of the champions Liverpool. Like, at what point does something major have to change? And, people want to talk about the individual performances. They want to talk about the brilliance of Murillo, or how Milenkovic was a warrior, or how Sean Dyche got it right. But, like, you cannot have a world where you've got Curtis Jones and Dominic Solanke both playing at right back at various points in the game until Jones becomes the full-time right back. Like, you just can't do that. You have to stop playing midfielders as fullbacks. Like, you just need to go back to basics. Like, Konate, he was just unbelievable, wasn't he? He had one of those afternoons I just don't know what to say about him. Like, I feel like he needs to not play. Like, Joe Gomez is a better option for Liverpool now. Joe Gomez is undoubtedly a better option. There is another super chat that has landed here from the Xerxes Gunner, who says, why some players perform much better with their club and others perform better with their country. I think for sometimes it's easier. If you're French if you're French, you're going to be the best team on the pitch, aren't you? If you're French, like England are playing against Albania. England are better than Albania. England are going to beat Albania. So I understand why English players are going to play well. It is more of a conundrum, isn't it, when you see somebody like Florian Wirtz. Like Florian Wirtz, 2 assists for Germany in the international break, but then just looks so out of his depth in the Premier League. And I think he's adjusting to the league. I'm not sure that I think he's a wonderful footballer, and I think that he will ultimately become a very good Liverpool player. But until he works out the hostility in the Premier League, the physicality in the Premier League, like there was a moment fairly recently, right, where Florian Wirtz goes over. He goes over, and you see him hit the deck, and he looks really like affected, and he looks up and he looks at the ref, and he goes like that at the ref. And everybody watching it, all his teammates, everybody involved on the pitch, everybody watching in the stands, everybody watching on the telly, is looking at it going, Florian, brother, that is never even a foul. That's not even a foul ever. Like you seem to think that it's a booking, and nobody else thinks it's a foul. Like, he needs to acclimatise to the league quickly. And I don't know what they're going to do. Like, it feels ridiculous, doesn't it, to say that Liverpool need to spend money. Liverpool need to spend their way out of trouble. Liverpool need to spend their way out of problems. But maybe they do. Maybe they do. They've spent a lot of money, but if those signings that they made and spent the money on are not working, maybe they need to go out and spend more money. If you sign Florian Wirtz, but Florian Wirtz isn't doing his job, maybe you need to spend more money. Maybe you need to sign somebody who is clinically proven in the Premier League. Like the links with Anton Semenyo, they're gathering pace. They're moving, aren't they? And Semenyo suddenly changes Liverpool altogether. Liverpool have been long-term admirers of Semenyo, and you can understand why. You think about that performance that Semenyo put in for Bournemouth on the first day of the season at Anfield. Semenyo is a class act, and he would elevate that Liverpool front line immediately. You bring Semenyo into that front line, Mohamed Salah is immediately a better player. Alexander Isak is immediately a better player. Florian Wirtz suddenly doesn't have any pressure on his shoulders anymore. He's probably not starting. And yeah, I don't like saying that money is the answer. I don't like saying throw money at the problem. I don't think it's a correct way to approach things. But I do understand why Liverpool fans would like the idea of signing Semenyo. I do understand why it would whet the appetite of Arne Slot to bring in a player like Semenyo. Chelsea are a good example of this. Signing players, loads of players, that aren't very good, and then everyone goes, but you spent £500 million. You're like, yeah, we did spend £500 million, but we spent £500 million on Axel Disasi, on Benoit Badiashile, on Renato Vega, etc., etc., etc. So we have to spend more money. Like, if we spent the money really well, if we bought Eberechi Eze instead of Buonanotte, if we bought Mark Gahey instead of Axel Disasi, if we bought Donnarumma instead of Robert Sanchez, I probably wouldn't be saying that we need to spend more money. If Liverpool had bought Mark Gahey instead of Frimpong, we might not be saying that they need to spend any more money. Spending money doesn't mean that you don't spend more money. Spending money just means that you might need to spend more money if you haven't spent it well. So of course it makes sense to me why this Semenyo links are going. You know, it is very interesting. Another super chat has landed. It says, Slot is the definition of a... Slot is a fraud. Slot is a fraud. His follicle issues are nothing to do with me. But I don't think that you can call anyone a fraud who's won the Premier League. Once you have won the Premier League, you are in a very exclusive club. And I would suggest that you deserve an element of respect. I would suggest that we should extend a courtesy to you that suggests that you won the Premier League title. You dethroned Pep Guardiola's 3-in-a-row winners. You dethroned Pep Guardiola's treble winners. Like, think about what Guardiola has done with that team. They won a treble. They won 3 league titles in a row. And Arne Slot came in and in his first year won the league title. Do you not agree with me that he deserves an element of respect? Am I correct here, or do you think that I'm being too sentimental? Do you think that I'm being just too sentimental and ultimately Liverpool owe him nothing and he should be sacked? I just don't think that you can sack Arne Slot when he's won a league. Like, ultimately, he's on a terrible run at the moment and he can't get it right. But yeah, I also agree that it's going to go very, very wrong for him this season. You know, obviously we've just put this poll up that asks where you think Liverpool will finish this season. Where do you believe Liverpool will finish this season? If you could vote on that, I'm just quite interested to see what you all think. And I can see that outside of the top 4 is running away with it. Over 66% of you are saying that outside the top 4 is where Liverpool will end this season. Now, if they do that, if they finish outside of the top 4 at the end of the season and they win no silverware and they have no run in the Champions League, then I would say that they could sack Arne Slot. But I think that once you win the league, surely you deserve the courtesy of seeing out the following league, don't you? I know that Chelsea don't employ that tactic, by the way. I know that Mourinho was sacked off the back of winning 2 leagues in a row because we drew with Rosenborg. It was the most pointless sacking ever. And it was something that Abramovich got so wrong. If Abramovich hadn't have sacked Jose Mourinho, Chelsea would have had a dynasty. You know, like, no dynasty belongs to Chelsea in the Premier League. No dynasty belongs to Liverpool in the Premier League. The Premier League belongs to 2, possibly 3 clubs, but probably only 2. The dynasties are Manchester United and Manchester City. It's a Mancunian-dominated dynasty. You could possibly say that Arsenal had a moment, although they never retained a league title, actually. It's not Arsenal. Chelsea retained a league title, but we only did it once. We won 1 double European Cup. But no, the league has been dominated by 2 sides. And the reason that it wasn't dominated by Chelsea is because Roman Abramovich sacked Jose Mourinho idiotically when we drew with Rosenborg. That changed it. If we didn't do that, Chelsea would have won 6 league titles out of 10. So I honestly believe that Liverpool should think twice about doing this. He's won the league title. He's a champion for a reason. I've just seen something here from Reno in the chat. Rodgers finished second, but got the same amount of points as Slot did last season. Rodgers was sacked. Yeah, I don't necessarily think, Reno, that tells a story at all. I don't think that tells a story at all. Liverpool finished 10 points clear of the team that was in second. If Arsenal had launched a serious campaign to win the Premier League title last year, maybe Liverpool would have won more games towards the end of the season. They certainly took their foot off the gas. Liverpool won the league by 10 points. So they played as well as they needed to play to win the league by 10 points. Like, what are they going to do? Go hell for leather in the final day of the season when they've already won the league? It's not going to happen. So I don't think that the Brendan Rodgers comparison necessarily tells a truthful story, or a full story at least. Interesting point to raise, though. Thank you for doing so. Aidan O'Keefe says, poor team performance, poor management from the bench, too many signings and too many changes. It is mad to say that we need a Premier League proven player. Slot needs to return to last year's team and play. That's exactly what I've been saying, Aidan. It's exactly the point. I completely agree with everything that you said there. I really do. I think that what Slot needs to do, he needs to find rhythm. He needs to go back to basics. And I mean actual basics. No midfielders as defenders. No midfielders as fullbacks. If you have to play a midfielder at fullback, don't play one of your starting midfield trio. Change as few pieces of the jigsaw as possible. So if you're going to have to play a midfielder at right back, you might as well make it Jones, because then your midfield stays the same. So if you make it Szoboszlai, that means you put Jones in midfield. It means you've got a dodgy midfield. You've got a midfield that you don't necessarily want and a defence that you don't want. If you put Jones at right back, it means at least your midfield stays the same. So I think he got that one wrong. I really do. I think the signing of Frimpong feels weird. Doesn't feel like it's working. Kirkes, he cannot get a performance out of. And it shows you that the expectation at a club like Liverpool is incomparable to the expectation at a club like Bournemouth. And unless you are clear, it's not easy. But look, I would also say that he's capable of getting it right. I would also say that he's capable of finding rhythm again. And we've spoken already today about Arteta. Arteta could have been sacked in that Arsenal job about 5 times. The Burnley one will always stay with me. When Ashley Giles scored a winner at the Emirates, I thought he was a goner. And they persevered with him, and look at them now. They're riding high at the top of the league. Yes, I totally concede that Liverpool's title hopes are in tatters. I totally agree that it has been a travesty of a season. I totally agree that he has just made a pig's ear of it. But I would also argue that he is the man to turn it around. I would also argue that he is the man capable of turning it around more so than anyone else. Like, I know that Liverpool fans will be twitchy. I know that Liverpool fans will be upset. I know that they'll be thinking about other managers. I know that the dream of Klopp coming back, or Steven Gerrard, or Zinedine Zidane, or whatever else we've discussed today. But I still think that a manager who's won the league deserves to have a chance to put it right. Like, realistically, this is the first fire that he's had to put out of the club. Like, has he not earned the right by winning the league title to suggest that he deserves the opportunity to put it right? They're my thoughts on it. Would you do me a favour before you go? If you have enjoyed this video, please do me a favour. Click subscribe. I love going live like this. I love having these chats with you. I'm going to be going live tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock again, by the way. So please do me a favour. Make sure you click subscribe. Put the bell on. You'll get a notification when I go live. And I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Drop a like on this stream before you go as well. Thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-da.